What's up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society. I am your host, Jeremy Johnson, along with my partners, Jim Range and Craig Nasello.
Hello.
Craig, you're back.
I know.
Where you been?
He's so excited, isn't he?
He is.
I mean, everywhere.
And he's learning now to turn his phone off, which is good. So, first rule of radio, it's fine.
My phone was turned off. Get off my ass. Leave me
It's
alone.
fine.
You know, you would think after this being our
19
19 shows, he would know to turn the damn phone off.
It was turned off. Get off my ass.
I mean, it's fine. But, no,
Welcome
Craig.
back, buddy. We missed you.
Yeah, we did miss you, even though you did call us morons after the last
I
show.
could have called you no good cocksuckers.
I mean, that's true, too. But, whatever. It's fine.
Hey, we're going to use explicit again, Matt.
Yeah, this is why we're going to go explicit there, producer Matt, whenever we move this one over to...
We're adults, okay? We're adults.
We do have the explicit now on our tag on iHeart and soon to be XM Radio, which will be very interesting when that goes down.
You should always learn that because, you never know what I'm going to say.
That is a true
We have learned that.
So, no, Craig, you've been gone.
No,
Where you
I've been Bellator, a lot of Bellator shows. Traveling with Bellator, doing all the shows. I'm actually off the month of June with Bellator, so...
Nice.
No, not really.
Okay, well, I mean,
I want to go back to work. I like work.
Well,
I love my job. Yeah.
Well, it is good to be Craig Nasello.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
I mean, it's better to be Jimmy Range, who's sitting in front of himself with an Old Forester 150th anniversary.
And he just been on another one, didn't he?
Yeah. What did you just been on?
What'd you been on? Yeah. No, that was an Old Forester. That was
George T.
Stagg. Yeah.
Well, George T. Stagg, but we won't talk about that because that's secondary market.
That's right.
Hocus pocus. So now tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about Old Forester. As you can see here with the lineup, we have a lot of them. I mean, we're missing the birthday bourbon, but
Yep. And one we have not been lucky enough to
Find.
yeah. But we kind of came into this that we wanted to make cool summer whiskey, a cool summer drink. So today I'm making my version of what's called a summer breeze. Now, this is literally nothing more than bourbon, some orange juice, some triple sec.
Is it kind of like a summer dress?
I don't know.
It sounded like I thought it was like a Beach Boys song is what I took it as.
That's fair, but you seem to like it there, Craig. I mean, you down that pretty well. So Jimmy's on his...
I've been drinking this for like an hour.
Jimmy's on his second one at the moment. So, no, great, easy cocktail to do. It's
Yours is empty over there too, there, Sunshine.
Well,
don't talk too much shit.
I mean, that's how it works. So, but no, tonight we are going to start off with this cocktail. So we are going to go with the Old Forester 1920, which we will talk about all of the Whiskey Row series tonight.
I was going to say, what's a 1920 stand for?
Well, 1920 was the year that Prohibition was started. Mm-hmm. And so, Jim, what was this whiskey as we pour that in here? 1.5 ounces of Prohibition.
It was
Old
medicinal.
Well, darn right it is every time.
And it's one of what? It's a handful. Is it 10?
One of 10.
Distilleries that were allowed to produce whiskey during Prohibition.
1/2 ounce of triple sec, Cointreau, Aperol, anything that gives you that orange flavor to it. So next up, 3 dashes of orange bitters. Beautiful.
Did anything go in there? I didn't see it.
It did. It was
okay.
beautiful. That's how I do things.
Sorry.
All right, next we're going to bust out some good old orange juice because what doesn't say summer than like orange juice? This will be another 1.5 ounces.
A sundress.
2 ounces
Sundress.
of orange juice.
Sundress. It says summer.
It is that time of year.
It does.
It's almost warm enough. Kira?
I like sundresses.
Now, I got this one here on the idea of the basic highball, which is spirit and soda. So we're going to do a little bit more onto it. All right, big shake. Don't, Craig. Thank you very much. All right. It's going to be one of those shows, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you guys wanted me back. That's your own damn fault.
Exactly.
All right.
You're the idiots that brought me in.
Fair. But pour that in. Beautiful. Now,
so you don't have to worry about straining it.
No, here you go. You can finish that off right there. No strains to that. We don't believe in straining in this. All right. From there, we take Squirt soda. Now, since we're all, watching our calories here with the Squirt Zero Sugar, but give it a little bit of a grapefruit kick here at the end instead of just straight up seltzer water. So there we go. All right. And that is how you make a bourbon summer breeze.
Cheers.
Cheers, ladies and gentlemen.
We got the Slurpee over here on the left. Sounds like a Slurpee
God
machine.
bless it. That's good. All right. No, so tonight we are talking about Old Forester. Now, the Old Forester product was named after Dr. William Forester, a gentleman named George Gavin, who was for lack of a better term, he was a pharmaceutical salesman back in the day.
George Gavin Brown, wasn't it?
Yes. So,
because that's a Brown.
well, it's the Brown and Brown Foreman, which
Brown
now owns a ton of distilleries, Jack Daniels, Woodford Reserve.
5th generation running it.
Right.
And it's the only distillery, or the only bourbon, that is still produced by the original distillery before,
Right.
during, and after Prohibition.
Which is
every other
pretty cool.
bourbon has switched ownership through that time.
Right, which is very cool.
Yeah.
The cool thing is, though, so it was named after, though, Dr. William Forester. And Dr. Forester was one of those guys who basically talked about and wrote papers on the medicinal qualities of whiskey. And for that, we thank him, because that's basically what got the ability for drugstores to sell during Prohibition. So whenever George came up with his product and he was selling it by the barrel. Well, he didn't like the quality that was out there. So he decided he's going to make his own. And so he went out and he got the blends and barrels from 3 different distilleries, grabbed all those bottles, and created what now we can see here on the table back in old 1870 as the Old Forester 1870.
Well, what's interesting is this is the first bottled bourbon. He got
Absolutely.
the barrels and bottled it himself from those distilleries that he sourced to start.
Which is real cool, because
Yeah.
that was before, especially during Prohibition, you went to the drugstore to get your whiskey, which is how Craig gets his now. But, he goes,
Actually, yeah, I've gotten some whiskey from. Not gonna lie, I have gotten some whiskey from Walgreens quite a few times.
there's nothing wrong with that either. So, but the Whiskey Roast series that they did has come up with some of the cool things that came out throughout time. So the 1870, it's the original that they did. It's actually taken from 3 different rick houses now on the Old Forester property. So that's pretty cool. They blend them, send them out. It comes out, I believe, what is it, Jim? 90 proof, 86 proof, something to that effect. Yeah, because they do change the proofs up.
Because the
So-
1920s,
1870, is that what you said?
yeah, the 1870 is
Yeah.
90 proof.
Yeah, 90.
Right,
the 1920, I believe, is 115 proof.
right.
Yeah.
Because that kind of, and it's got a little bit of rye flavor to it, which kind of made
Mhm.
Craig's insides curl a little bit.
It
Don't
did.
like rye.
But then the 1897, now that was a fun one, because that was, of course, what happened in 1897. That was the Bottled and Bond Act.
Yep.
So we've talked about Bottled and Bond on the show before.
I
It's
think we've beat that like a dead dog.
absolutely.
Okay.
But so if y'all know, if
Just
you
making
don't,
sure.
ask us questions on Twitter at MMA Bourbon. But
But it's neat, though, that they've got whatever they had from that time period. They're making that blend available.
right. And the,
I wouldn't go that far. They might need to update their recipe because it tastes like shit.
oh, well, so that's what we love about this show as far as the honesty
I
goes.
just don't. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
I can't get into it. I don't like it. I didn't like any of them.
And
they
that's
were all
okay.
just not that good to me.
Well,
I don't know if it's just me
No,
being
I don't think
picky
it's just you.
tonight or what. Because usually I find something I like.
Right.
I could not find one.
But to me, that's one of the best things about bourbon.
Right.
Well, I think
Is
that's
the
one of the
fact
best things
that-
about this show too, is that we'll tell you the truth.
We'll tell the truth, but when I look at bourbon, everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're paying $120 for a bottle of blends. Well, guess what? If somebody's mind, if it's that good to them and it means that much,
Then
that's
pay it.
their choice.
It's like-
they can pay what
Well, it's
they
like
want.
Buffalo Trace. I mean, I'd pay $100 for a bottle of Buffalo Trace right now. What's it? $30?
Absolutely, but
You
it's
know,
what you like.
But it's what I
you
like.
And everybody's profile is different. And that's what I love about the bourbon world. Just whiskey world in general.
Now, I do kind of want to open up here the old Forester Statesman, but
I haven't got the okay from Colton.
No, this is a
oh no,
statesman.
this
Oh,
is
the
the Statesman
Statesman,
down
I'm
here.
sorry.
So, just to see what Craig thinks of it. So
I mean,
we may do that here just to see. Let's go ahead and do that.
Because
But-
I'd like to know.
No, so tonight we are going to do our Sip, Sink, and Save with basically all of the Whiskey Row series here, which kind of throws it off because there's 4 of them, but I think that
all
we
suck.
need to throw it out there and see what happens.
Craig's killing me over
Oh,
here.
interesting.
I don't even know where my
I
Glencairn
have
glass.
your Glencairn
Okay.
glass right here, so...
Yeah. By the way, I'm waiting on my glasses to get done.
Yes, we will be having some Glencairn glasses here for all of our fans out there. Let us know. We will
And
also
if you're
be
not a
having-
fan, you can buy them and break them. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. All right, though. So tonight on our Sip, Sink, and Save, we are going to do all 4. So basically, we're going to do Sip, Sink, Save.
Okay, that was good. Finally found one.
All right, well, there we go. It's the specialty bottle that Craig likes, of course.
I'm sorry. I'm bougie. I got high. It cost me,
All right,
I'm expensive.
So interesting question just came in here from the chat from our friend Jeffrey Wilson, who actually is a co-host with Pat Miletich on their podcast all about conspiracies. And that is, what is the difference between bourbon and whiskey? Jim Range.
It is not. If you ask Jeremy Johnson, it's not Jack Daniels.
Well, Jack Daniels is Tennessee whiskey because of the Lincoln County procedure.
Oh my
That's
God! Here we go. We're gonna have this whole conversation again.
fine. Jim Range, the difference between bourbon and whiskey. What makes a bourbon whiskey?
What makes it a bourbon?
Yes.
You gotta be 51% corn.
Yep.
Single barrel usage.
Okay. So and it has to be charred in New American oak barrels.
Yeah.
So the difference is
Why?
all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. So there you go. That's for you, Jeff. Thank you very much for the question. All right.
Thanks,
now
Jeff, for the question, but Jeremy, you're still wrong.
No, I'm actually.
It says it on the bottle. I don't care what you say. The bottle is right.
That's fair. All right. So tonight, Sip, Sink, Save, and what is the one that should never have made the shelf? So we're gonna sip it, we're gonna sink it, we're gonna save it, and then the one that was so bad, it never should have made it to the shelf.
And see, that's the best part about this because, in my opinion, I could drink any of the 4. So having to say
Absolutely.
which one shouldn't make it doesn't
open
mean
up-
it's bad unless you're Craig, who's going
Let's
to have
open
3
up the
bad
middle
ones.
one.
We haven't got that. That's a tough one. That's
Yeah.
that's an
Why is it tough? It's only $100 bottle.
Oh
No,
$39.95.
$39.95.
Yeah, $39.95.
$39.95. That's what we paid
That's right.
for.
All bottles in this house are $39.95.
Right. No matter if you follow us, you do know that no matter what we actually paid for it, it's only
$39.95.
All right. So, Craig Nasello, Sip, Sink, Save.
Do I have to do like the 4? Which 4 do we have to do?
You are doing the 1870,
Sink,
the 1897,
sink,
the 1910,
sink,
the 1920.
sink.
Now, that's yours that probably should not even have made the shelf.
Fair. All right.
That's the
And
one
the
you hated
1920 is
'cause
probably
Yeah,
the
that was the worst one.
one. All right.
No,
So,
I like the Statesman. This one's good. I mean, I'll sip this one all day long.
very fair. All right.
Okay. As long as we're good on that.
So I find that interesting that he hated all of them
I didn't like
except
'em.
for this. So
And it's probably rye, right?
no, actually, it's not.
And a rye is actually the only reason they have a rye is because they bought another distillery,
Right.
which gave them the ability to produce something with a different type of grain.
But
That's
they-
the only reason they have a rye.
But they all taste like a rye to me.
No way.
Every fucking one tastes like a rye. To
No
me.
way, dude. Only one has a little bit of a bite to it. That's the high
They
proof.
all
with the
have
20.
a bite to it. They all taste like a rye.
All right. Jim Range. Sip, sink,
Man.
and
Why
save.
ain't this one opened?
Because Colton Cole did not give us permission.
I thought that was
right.
that one.
No,
That's
no,
this
no,
one.
no.
Everything else is open.
Oh, okay. That one's outside of the box. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
All right, Jim Range, hit me with it.
Let's see. Sip, sink, and save. Which one should not make it?
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I'm going to sip my 1920 just because I'm a higher proof rye type guy. So
Okay.
it's got a little bit more of the spicy, but I get a little bit of on the nose and on the palate.
Mhm.
But you get that cinnamon cherry finish to it. So to me, along with a little bit of a burn at the end.
Okay.
So to me, that's one that I'm going to sit and sip. If I'm out there barbecuing, just sitting around one day after a rough day at work, that's what I'm going to have just to enjoy. My save is going to be our sink is going to be the 1870.
All right.
The 1897 is going to be my save. I think you can do a little bit more with that. It's got dessert on the nose.
I agree with that.
I mean, it's really
You're
good.
actually going
It's-
to agree with that? Like all 3 of his picks?
Oh, no, not
oh,
all three.
he's
okay.
got
I
a
was like-
different
Oh,
on the
no,
pick.
I was
I
like,
have,
damn,
I
we
have
can
a
cut this
whole
episode
different animal,
or
but
this-
He's got a different animal on the first 2.
Okay,
I
my bad.
guarantee. But what I like about the 1897 to save it is I think it's something you could do different things with for that special occasion that you want to mix it, do whatever you want. You got sugar cookie on the nose. I mean, I call it dessert on the nose is what I get
most
from
definitely. I do.
And
agree
then
with
you
that.
get that sweet and spice still, but not overly dominant that
Right.
I'm going to want on a daily basis.
Tastes like shit to me.
And the one that should not make it, I mean, and it's not bad, I'm not saying, but to me it was just a little bit flat, was the 1910. And it's just, you get caramel on the palate, but the finish is light, and there's not a whole lot on the nose, in my mind.
That's fair.
So 20's my sip. Sink is going to be the 70. 97's my save, and 10's going down the drain. Or 10 should never started.
Really?
Wow.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Not really, but I'm going with
He's playing our game.
He is. No, the thing that gets me is
Just
we have a
playing.
comment. We have something in the comments from Craig Nasello that says, "Is it true that all of them suck?" No, it's not. So, all right. So, personally, for me, my sip is. We also have the comment that Craig coming in clutch, brutal honesty. There we go. Okay. All right. My sip in all of this is actually the 1910. So the 1910 has a very interesting story for the original ones that come about. And that was there was a fire on the bottling line at that point in time. They had already dumped some out, and they had to put it back into a barrel. So it got barreled twice. Had a little bit of time in it. Comes out with a very interesting flavor. So my everyday sipper is going to be the 1910. I like the idea that it has a very light caramely palate to it. It's very easy to drink. It's one of those that most people who aren't heavy rye guys, heavy wheated, because that's what Buffalo Trace, that's your reason, is the wheated in it. It has enough smoothness to it and enough sweetness that it's there. My sink is probably going to be the 1870. It has an overall lack of flavor. There isn't a whole lot to it. It has a very, almost for a lack of it, it has an earthy over the middle, but there isn't much on the nose. It's kind of flowery, I would say, but there isn't much. It's kind of earthy there, and that's about it. My save is definitely going to be the 1897. And my probably never should have been done is the 1920. I think that it's too high a proof for what they're doing.
Yep.
I can see it because it can hold in a cocktail, and actually that's what I made our cocktails with tonight because it does hold the flavor. But as far as the not needed, I think of all of them that are out there, the bottled in bond would hold where it needs to be. So those are mine.
I like it.
Let us know what you think on our Twitter, on our Facebook, and on our Instagram, either MMA Bourbon Society or MMA Bourbon. Check out all of our socials for that. I do. There's a lot of appreciation, though, for you in the comments, Craig, of your brutal honesty over it. The best part about this is, guys, and we've said it all along, nobody's paying us to do these.
No.
Right.
So we pick them, we buy them. I mean, we own these bottles. As you can see, they've been opened. We do have some stores that give them to us.
4 Quick Shop.
Yep.
Give them their plug.
Yeah.
Because they
40
deserve
Quick
it.
Shop, Troy, Illinois. Thank you very much for always giving us the
Looks
whiskey
like
bottles.
Mike Estes is saying hi.
I greatly appreciate that, watching from Iowa. So we've got fans all over. All right, guys. So final thoughts. Craig, I know that you like the Statesman. What do you like about it?
It's not. It doesn't have that
Jim, shall we?
first
Little
real huge bite. Like that. That was my biggest thing with all of them. Is like as soon as you taste it, it's just like it's instant. Like God damn, this is too strong.
Okay.
You know, I just want. I mean, not all bourbons that I drink are mellow. Like to me, a Buffalo Trace is mellow.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's
Very
the
much so.
best part of a weeded bourbon.
Right.
Is that you have the
But not all of them I
palate.
have or drink are like that. Like the Whiskey Acres is not like that. And I have both have their bourbon and their rye.
Right.
And I like both of those, and I'm not a rye person.
Which still floors me.
But it
because
seems like
there is so much rye in that.
oh yeah,
But I get where you're going because it's so smooth. On
it's
the
so
It doesn't
smooth.
have a burn on the end.
Right.
That's, I think, what kills Craig. Like,
I
that's
don't
the
like-
problem with
I-
1920.
yeah. It's just
It's that higher proof, that 150.
it's just too much. I mean, I want to drink to enjoy it. I don't want to drink to sit here and go, God damn, I'm sweating my ass off. It's hot.
Right.
It burns my mouth. It tastes like shit. I don't want that. I want to enjoy my drink and relax. And that's
No, I respect.
and none of these
100%.
like the Statesman has a small bite at the beginning, but not as nowhere near as
Okay.
bad as the other
All
four.
right. So tasting notes, Jim. What do you feel in the Statesman? And this is completely off the record. I mean, we literally just opened this to play with it. So, all right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on the nose, you're going to get the very typified vanilla. So it had a lot of time to pull all of those wood esters out. The other thing that I got in the beginning over the other is that this is a freshly opened bottle. So whenever you have a freshly opened bottle, you're going to get a lot of the ethanol. And I mean, that's just what it is. That's what
needs to
alcohol
breathe.
is.
Well, yeah,
It
they talk about
absolutely-
wine breathing. Bourbon's the same way. You let it
Exactly.
open up just a little bit.
Now,
Right.
as it sat,
I usually, if I open a bottle, I usually let it set for about 5 or 10 minutes before I pour.
oh, easily. But I would say, okay, so we're going to definitely get a little bit of a sweeter front on it. Almost a nutmeggy to the front. I like that. You're going to get a very light middle, very light. And then the back end is a super smooth finish, which is I think why you like it. Yeah, you're looking at a great mixing bourbon. I think that you're going to get the very typified vanilla caramel notes in the front. You're going to get a lot of sweetness over the middle, and then a very light finish.
I got a little bit of an oaky with that vanilla at the beginning too
Fair.
on it, but the finish I really like. It's smooth. It doesn't bite like the rest of it.
No,
But I
at
mean,
all.
But I like that higher proof or that rye.
Well, at
So-
95 proof, the finish of this is amazing.
Yeah.
Which you would expect it to be a little bit harsher.
No, the finish of it's great.
Right.
Like, just I don't know. I like this one over all the other four that we've had.
And that's
It's
perfect.
smoother tasting to me.
It does kind of make me wonder what that 150th anniversary tastes like. Just saying. But
I mean, we can open it. I'm waiting for Colton Cole to like text us back. I mean, this is getting,
I'm just praying Colton doesn't show up.
that's fair. That's
come
fair.
on, Colton, where you at tonight? It's bullshit.
Somebody's got him on speed dial right now going, get on this show, make him open a damn
Right.
bottle.
Exactly.
Jimmy's fighting it.
Because we have always said that we do drink what we buy.
Yep.
You
And-
didn't buy that.
He did buy it.
He
just-
won that. Don't give me that bullshit.
well, but we can't talk about how he won it, so it's fine. But
I'm gonna leave it alone. I was gonna say
exactly. Now let us know what your thoughts are on Twitter, on all of our socials. Okay, but now, guys, we had some amazing
You guys had-
MMA.
Just think about it. You guys had 2 shows without me.
Well,
I
and
know,
we missed
he's
you.
making up for it.
Exactly, we missed you. And
I'm in a good mood, actually.
Apparently,
No,
so
I'm
did the fans. So it's great. We had a ton of MMA though that went down here in the last few weeks.
Jesus, a ton.
Exactly. Actually, Craig, you and I were in Iowa for
Des Moines.
Des Moines, Iowa, which was actually a really nice
Dude, that
place.
hotel was sick, wasn't it?
It was.
It was nice.
Extreme Fighting Championships, or XFC, the first mixed martial arts promotion on the U.S. Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
Interesting, Craig. Kind of talk us through how the fights went that night.
Amazing. Like
It really was.
It really was. It was like one of the best cards I've ever worked. They had one amateur fight. They had 13 or 12 pro
12
fights.
pros.
And even the amateur there was 2 girls and they beat the piss out of each other. Like it was a great fight.
It absolutely
like,
was.
Every fight I don't think there was a boring fight on that card.
No, at all.
Oh, no, I take it. There was that one wrestler kid. I can't think of his name. That was boring.
The one who kind of looked like a cross between Ben Askren and
Yeah.
Diego Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking
I
about.
can't think of his name, but that fight was kind of boring. I mean, because he was a dominant wrestler.
Oh,
I mean,
kid
good
had
for
some
him.
skills.
I understand his whole game plan, and I get it. But other than that, I mean, it was just, dude, there were so many. There was knockouts, and then there was flash knockouts, and I mean, it was just guys and gals were beating the hell out of each other. I mean, it really was a great show.
Yeah, it
and
really.
production was good. I've heard the TV production was
No,
really
watching
well.
on TV was good.
Yeah, I actually heard from Michael Stutz, one of the media guys, was watching it. And he was like, "Hey, man, was that really you?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was really Craig and I working."
Yeah,
cuts
Sid.
that night."
I talked to Sid. He said he's seen you on there. Last night. He said he's falling asleep, and he's like, the next thing you know, I see Jeremy on TV, and I'm like, that's
I
pretty
mean,
funny.
that's the thing. You guys didn't. It was always commercial break when you guys were out.
If we were in between rounds, yeah, they're always in the commercials.
always.
Invicta's that way too.
Yep.
Whenever Craig was working, or I did the last Invicta because he was at Bellator. Yeah, it's one of those that but when you watch the replays of it, we're in every shot in the
Oh, is it?
corners. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the corner the whole time. That
The other thing is too is that I mean they had more cameras than any production I've ever seen, and I've worked a ton. So
Well, it's just and not even just the production, like the commission and everything. Well, the commission's who hired
absolutely,
us.
which was interesting.
Dawn Chamberlain, she was amazing
and likes whiskey.
yes, and she likes whiskey. You actually bought her a
Bonus
bottle,
points.
or not a bottle, but
I bought her a Pora Suntory to let her try Japanese whiskey for the first.
so we ended up working the show with the commission brought us in, and it was this. Like I said, they spared no expense. Not just the commission, but the promotion itself.
time.
The promotion itself. I mean,
Yeah.
like everybody had a freaking tracksuit and shirt, and
Oh.
hat, bag.
Ooh, yeah.
Like everybody, not just the fighter. Like the corners.
yeah, we
everything.
saw that.
It was like, okay. And I mean, they had those stand-up printouts of
Every
of
fighter
every
had its own-
fighter.
yeah, it was crazy in this big venue. The other big one there though is you were at Bellator for a while there, sequestered out at the Mohegan Sun.
Mohegan
so-
Sun. I just did Chris Cyborg's last fight. Her and Leslie Smith. That was Leslie Smith is probably the toughest girl I've ever seen in my life.
Incredible.
I mean, plain and simple. That girl is a straight gangster, and like she didn't back down. Like I mean, she got her. I mean, she lost.
Absolutely,
But
the-
she stood in there and she fought.
She took a beating.
Well, she took a beating, but she
fought
fought.
back,
She
yes.
did. I mean, she hit Chris with some good shots. I mean,
absolutely.
it was a great fight.
The funny thing is that I was at Char Bar with our friend Mike Driesbach.
Douchebag?
and yeah, him too. And Joe Martinez, the ring announcer from the UFC.
I haven't
in
seen Joe.
Brunswick,
I love Joe. I haven't seen Joe since last year.
The funny thing is Alina Leigh McFarland was with us also.
Oh,
watching
Alina Leigh
the
was there?
Yeah. And so we were all sitting at Char Bar, which is one of all of our favorite
Yes.
restaurants
Yeah.
in Kansas
Kansas
City, watching the fights on our phones. It was hilarious. So, yeah, it was a great night of fights, though.
Yeah, I mean, how did the Invicta go? I heard. Well, I watched. I haven't watched the main event yet, but I watched the co-main event, and that girl got robbed. I'm sorry. It's my and don't get me wrong. I love Alicia Zapatella. She's an amazing person, but I don't think she won that fight.
So
Personal opinion, of course.
I was actually in Jessica's corner, and I wrapped Jessica's hands for that fight. And I had it even, which is same as the judges going into the fifth round. And I had her winning it also. There was enough work that I think she won it.
You know,
But I wasn't mad that it went the other way.
no, I'm sure. You know, I mean, it could have went either way. When you're the champ, you have to beat the champ.
Absolutely.
And it was that close going into the fifth round. And then the fifth round was that close. I mean, it was a back and forth fight. It was a great title defense for Alicia.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple, it was a great title defense for her.
Absolutely.
And now next Friday, we're going to have the 105-pound atom weight tournament to see who the number one contender is. And guess who's in that tournament?
And who would that be?
Jessica Delabode.
Very not. Well, she didn't take any damage. So
She's
yeah,
coming back. I mean, to a big turnaround.
100%.
And then, then Lindsey Van Zant. The other girls I really don't know much of, but I know Lindsey for a long time. My two favorites right now are Jessica and Lindsey.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw a shout out real quick between this. Chad's on the road.
and I'm
regular
gonna,
watch.
And I'm gonna have another
Regular
Florida
viewer.
Statesman because
He's on the road right now, picking us up on the road. Cheers. Hope happy huntings.
Happy what?
Hunting.
Craig, would you like another Statesman while we were there? I mean,
No, I'm good.
all right, just making sure.
He's on a bourbon run.
Oh,
Very nice,
I mean, if
very
you
nice.
find something like really good, I'll work.
Anything in
in
weeded. Let's bring it this
Oh,
way. So,
Craig.
I seen it.
Craig just said to Chad,
Oh.
if you find something really good for Craig, he will wear the cowboy hat. He just
I
said
even put
that
a
out loud.
pink feather in it.
Oh my!
Oh,
Oh, I
just
can't
kidding.
believe that just
Jeremy,
happened.
do we just throw
All
Chad
right,
a little bit of money and make this happen?
Chad.
I'm getting dirty looks from producer Matt and
Chad
the other
sent it all
producer
to us.
that-
It's about to go down.
the,
It's
the
gonna be
other
bad.
unnamed producer.
All right, now, so okay, we also though had a ton of UFC action. Then there's some interesting fights coming up. So Jimmy, talk us through it.
John Woodson.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the heavyweights this weekend. I go through that
Absolutely.
card, and I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know a lot about the people on the card, the fighters on the card.
Only fight I care about is Sean Woodson.
Well,
yeah,
and
and
that's
Woodson's
my whole
on a
thing.
local.
Woodson. So we are from St. Louis, Missouri, and Sean Woodson is here.
He's local.
Been around forever.
Hell of a nice guy.
Amazing fighter.
Yep.
Deserves everything that he's getting with us, and I'm super stoked to see him there.
Go get that big W, Sean. Come home with it.
Yeah.
Now, the big thing, though, that I want to talk about with this UFC card is, number one,
Who's on it?
that's the whole thing.
I mean-
That's the whole thing. What has happened to, this is my kind of gotcha question for the week. What has happened to where people who are hardcore fight people, because we're hardcore fight people, don't know a damn name on this card?
Yep.
Except Sean Woodson in the main event.
I haven't even looked it
And
up.
we know him
but
because he's local.
Right.
That's the only reason we know him.
So has it come to the point where there are now too many UFC fights?
I don't pay
We've talked
attention.
about that in the past.
I don't pay attention to the UFC really that much, honestly. I hate saying
Well,
that.
I
but
get it. You're with
But you work for Invicta and
Yeah.
Bellator,
I mean-
so that's
it makes sense.
your stick. That makes sense, yeah.
And the Iowa Commission, evidently. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
No.
right. Now
But
we work for
no.
the Iowa Commission, but it's fine.
But no, we've talked about it in the past, though. Are there too many fights that I don't want to say it's watered down because we see some great fights. So watered down is
Well-
not the right term. But when these younger fighters are being brought in there, is it so they can have a card competing with everybody else on a regular basis?
Absolutely, it is.
Well, I mean, you got to think about when COVID hit last year, and then they finally opened up. I mean, look at all the guys that they signed, and now they got to find that. Now they're under contract; they have to fight them.
That's
They have
true.
to at least give them something.
Something, right? So, are they putting on a card of a bunch of no names trying to make names, or are they trying to?
But all right, we're gonna go way deep in the woods tonight. This is one of those though
I'm
that
scared now
well, no,
because I know what it's like with go to the woods.
I'm from the. I mean, we are all from the old days. All right, I remember Sean Shirk. I remember Carlos Newton. All of these guys. There isn't that star power as
on this
much
card,
anymore.
right? But not on
No, in general. Okay, so
you can't say that.
I
mean,
can say that. I just did say that.
But what about the last pay per view? Where was the star power there?
That's what I'm saying.
What are you talking about? The last pay per view was
Okay, it was an amazing card. But, okay, walk down the street and ask somebody if they knew anyone who fought on that card.
you could probably throw a rock and find somebody who.
I don't buy that. I don't.
Why do
It's
you
not
say
like
that?
the old days of George St. Pierre and Matt Hughes, the big names that people knew.
I beg to differ on that one.
Okay, continue.
I mean,
all right.
I see your point, but my whole thing of it with it is like this card. Really, who's going to tune in? It's not pay per view. It's free, right?
Fair.
So you're going to get the casual fan watching if it's free. If it's on ESPN, now if it's on ESPN Plus, who knows?
Yeah.
Which is a terrible platform. Just
I don't know why you have problems. I've never had an issue with ESPN Plus. Not one time. Ever. I did watch The Ultimate Fighter.
I did too.
I'm going to shut my mouth.
Good call.
But anyway.
All right. But anyway, moving on so
But
we
so-
don't go too crazy.
I just
But
don't.
but I think part, and I'm gonna, because I kind of just sat and listened to you.
Right,
two
no.
With my head like in a tennis match, just going back and forth, taking the
You want
lobs from
to
both of
change?
Fair.
You want to move?
No,
You want
but-
to switch seats?
No, but the whole thing of it, and I think in Jeremy's mind, what I see where he's coming from is
I
the
don't.
fact that, if you sit back and you look, the percentage of people where you've got star power versus the total population of the fighters that are
Yeah,
at
but
that
those guys
level
really didn't have
is
star.
different.
Those guys didn't have star power either, though.
But everybody knew because
But I
you had
guarantee you-
you had a smaller group to select from, so you knew them.
But I guarantee
now
you,
got
I can.
a larger pool.
But I guarantee you, right now, you could go to up to any 12-year-old kid and ask him if he knew who George St. Pierre was, and he'd say, "Yeah, he was on the Winter Soldier, wasn't he?"
Okay,
The
that's
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because
that's-
he's on that show.
okay. That's fine. But also, you could walk up to any kid and go, "Who's Randy Couture?" and he's going to know him
no,
from.
he's not.
Oh yes, he is.
Not no kid. Not right now.
He's going to know him from the Expendables.
Kids aren't.
No, kids aren't.
I'll
Well,
give you a
Expendable.
quick side on that.
No,
All right, not kids, but I'm old, so everyone's a kid to me.
there's no goddamn way.
But
Ask
if
Stacey the
if
first time
Kamar
she met him.
Usman walked down the mall, two people are going to know who he is.
Probably.
Heads are not
No.
gonna turn.
I don't disagree
if
with
Chuck
you on that one.
Liddell walked down the mall, everyone's going to know who he is.
Yeah, I could.
But I think that's the difference is because you got such a pool of fighters now versus a smaller
But you still
pool
have.
over
But
the
you
years.
still have Conor McGregor. You still have Nick Diaz. You know the Tyron Woodleys. People know who Tyron is.
Oh, here we go. Thank you for bringing me around to this one, Craig Nasello. Tyron Woodley is now about to face Jim Range's favorite boxer in Jake Paul.
Did we really go there?
We are
Did he
totally
just say
going
that?
there.
Well, isn't his little
Jim
brother
Range.
about to get beat up this weekend?
No, the Big Brother's fighting.
Oh, that's Big Brother.
Now we're
Oh,
going to
I
go to
didn't know
that next, but
Anyway.
it was announced that Tyron Woodley will be taking on Jake Paul.
Yep.
Thoughts, Jim Range?
You want my thoughts on the fight or thoughts in general? Two entirely different things.
Give me your thoughts in general first.
Thoughts in general? Woodley's a hell of a lot smarter than Askren. Askren got 0 points from the pay-per-view and took I'm getting paid X amount no matter what.
Well,
Woodley, what he makes is off the pay-per-view plus base.
but then
Much smarter point. And then, now let's jump into the fight. Woodley can strike with the best when his head's in the game.
Continue.
Paul's going to get his ass knocked out for the
I
first
mean,
time.
he did knock out Robbie Lawler.
He knocked out Robbie Lawler. He knocked out
Jay Hernandez or Jay
He
Haran.
can strike with the best.
He knocked
tons.
out. Yeah. No.
Who was the blonde kid from the Ultimate?
Koscheck.
Yeah, Josh Koscheck. That's
Koscheck.
it. Thank you very much.
Who didn't knock out
Producer
Koscheck though? In the end.
But
in the
it
end.
doesn't
In the end.
matter.
In the
Matt.
end.
But it doesn't matter. Now the thing is I give Tyron a huge amount of credit for this. He
Oh, no,
sat
no,
there-
no.
If you watch like the videos of Tyron,
I'm
going
surprised
to
he
watch
didn't smack the
gloving.
shit out of him.
Well, fair. But no, because Tyron knew. Tyron is a great businessman.
Oh yeah, no, he ain't
Tyron is
stupid.
great at that. And this was the ultimate move for him. The thing that I hate about this, and I will say it, here it is. I hate the fact that Tyron Woodley is going to make more money in one fight fighting some schmuck from YouTube than he ever did in his UFC career. I hate that for him.
But you know, we've said that
I-
the whole time we've been talking about
producer
this.
Matt's looking at me like, no.
I
You
know.
know I'm right, though, right,
No.
producer Matt? Yeah.
I mean, producer Matt know a certain guy that fights for a certain organization that's getting paid more than any of the people before him that were in UFC, and he ain't in UFC.
But,
Oh.
but the point is, you got to give him credit for it. But we've brought up the fact, and even talking boxing, that when you look at it, these guys are stepping in because of their followings on YouTube and stuff. It doesn't matter what they're good at. It's that they got enough people. People are going to pay the money to see it. We brought
yeah.
up the whole fact with the soccer moms with the last Trillo show, which I hate talking about it, and I hope I'm saying it right.
Triller.
Triller.
Thriller?
But they went and
Triller.
saw it strictly
Triller?
for the fact of the rappers. They didn't go to see the boxing.
That
or
was
the
who did the
fights.
last one,
Yeah,
was
Triller.
Triller.
They're on Showtime now, right?
Yeah, now they're on Showtime.
Now it's going to be on
Okay,
Showtime.
at least it's
so-
on a legitimate.
So, Jim, I hate to say
Place.
this, but you have shot a ton of Showtime boxing.
Mm-hmm.
As one of the preeminent photographers in boxing, they're coming back
I don't
to
go
your
that far.
No, I would. 100%. You've
Anyway.
been seen around the world. How does it feel that now your sport is become this?
A spectacle.
I wouldn't even call this. I would call it a circus sideshow.
And that's how I look at it. It's the fact that certain, I'm going to call them promotions,
Okay.
Shabbat, don't have, and I think part of it's COVID, because you do have some great fighters out there still. Craig, and if you go to our Down Goes Fraser Sisters show,
Absolutely.
they don't feel there's really anybody driving boxing now.
You're just upset because they mentioned you about how much you love the Paul brothers.
The
Exactly.
only-
we did on the,
the-
show. So
But you do have some incredible fighters out there that are still driving the sport, but you don't have the TV coverage, etc.
You don't have that big name pushing that sport no more. You don't
I don't
have the
buy
Mike.
that,
I don't
though.
buy
You
that
don't
either.
have the Mike Tyson. You don't have. I mean, what do you have? You have the
Deontay
Gypsy-
Wilder.
Okay, and
You
how
have
many
Fury,
people?
You have Tyson Fury.
Wilder,
Okay, those are the only two freaking names I know right now.
Canelo.
That's sad. Lomachenko, Canelo.
Okay.
All of these guys.
Right.
And Lomachenko just essentially retired, pretty much. But I mean, the Craig's
Saddens
face when
me.
I said Canelo says it all a little bit, because Craig's not a boxing guy. He doesn't like boxing.
No, it's not that I don't like boxing. I just don't. It just doesn't.
He'd rather drink Old Forester than watch boxing.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. Like, I grew up on Mike Tyson. I liked watching Mike Tyson to see how fast he could knock a motherfucker out.
Fair.
Straight up. It was the honest to God's truth.
Mhm.
I loved watching
Just
Mike
an
Tyson
FYI,
fight.
Producer Matt, we're going to go the explicit on this one for all of ours.
Mike
If we
Remember,
didn't
Tyson.
already
follow us
get it
on
earlier?
YouTube also at MMA Bourbon Society and watch.
But no.
But
I'd
after
lay it
him,
out
I
there.
mean, who do you got?
I just don't buy that.
Who do you have that is that
Anthony
household name?
Ruiz.
Who has that household name though? That household name that everybody knows who he is.
But you don't.
Just like you just asked me in MMA. Who's that household name
here's
that
the
everybody
point
knows?
here's the point
That's
I'm
not
gonna
even
make.
a fan.
But the point I'm going to make
Everybody knew
is,
who Mike Tyson was, right?
You're not
Everybody
wrong.
knew.
You're not wrong.
No.
I'm not arguing.
Everybody.
with you.
But the point I'm going to make, and it ties to MMA, boxing, all in general, you don't have something on primetime sports like you used to. Tyson wasn't only on pay-per-view.
No.
Your casual person is not going to go pay to watch pay-per-view unless.
Towards the end, he was. That's all he was on.
But he'd already.
it was
built
also
his,
money. Yeah, it was a money grab.
He had already built his name.
That was a Don King grab, I should say.
So we're now, to Jeremy's point earlier with it, you've got to go to those special shows. You got to do pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And the casual fight fan isn't going to go do it. They're not going to go drop 80
I'm not.
bucks on a
I'm
fight.
not. I can't afford it.
But they're going to go watch this weekend.
I'm not.
I am. I hate to say it, but I'm going to.
Okay, I'm coming
and
to your
I'm
house
going to
then.
watch Floyd Money Mayweather, who is what 148 pounds is what he fought at, right? I mean, in that area.
Something like that, yeah.
Fight some guy who's 6'2", who ran around the Japanese death forest,
Weighs
and
190.
who weighs 190 pounds.
Didn't he open
And he's 5 inches taller than.
Didn't he open Pokemon cards
Who's the
too?
Pokemon one, Matt? Is that Jake or is that the other
That's.
one? Okay, so that's Jake Paul.
I thought Logan did.
Which one's the what? I don't know the difference between
Okay,
either of them.
So the thing that I get is
Okay, so Jake's fighting
okay, so Jake is fighting Tyron Woodley,
T Wood.
He's getting his ass knocked out finally.
and Logan is fighting
Wait,
Floyd
wait,
Money Mayweather, who is literally the greatest counterpuncher to ever fight.
It's not even the greatest counterpuncher. He's the greatest defensive fighter ever because the guy does not get
Fair.
It doesn't
People-
matter. He's a fucking boxer. He should win.
People
I need
call
another
him.
portable
But here's the
Forester
thing.
on this. God bless
Where
me.
people don't like Mayweather, they say he's boring to watch. You know what? If you enjoy the sweet science of boxing, the fact that
100%.
he doesn't get hit is
Incredible.
we're already unedited, right?
Absolute-
It's fucking amazing
you
that
can
he
say
doesn't
now
get
whatever
hit.
You want. I'm gonna
He
drop
doesn't
an F-bomb
get
here
hit.
in a minute.
That's fucking amazing.
And I win.
Well, Craig took us there, but I mean that's my point.
Absolutely.
We're adults. Come on now.
Now,
No,
what's interesting is Logan Paul is saying, "I'm going to knock Mayweather's ass out."
There's no.
No, but it's better, and then I'm going to retire as the greatest boxer ever.
Oh my God.
So does he retire when he gets his ass knocked out? That's my question to you two.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, here's what I'm gonna throw this out. I'm gonna throw this out.
show's going boom.
Okay.
Oh no, it's
So-
amazing. This
so-
is the best show we've ever
So
done.
Logan Paul, right? That's who's-
Logan is fighting Floyd Mayweather.
I'm trying to
yes.
straighten this out, getting this straight. Okay, someone that has been training boxing for what, 2 years, 3 years?
in that area.
And
Okay.
he's got a
But
500
hey,
record.
But he is an elite athlete.
In what? Pokemon cards?
No,
No, he wrestled
He
in
was
co-
a legitimate.
Oh, was he?
legitimate Ohio
Okay.
wrestling elite.
Okay. Okay, then if he went to Ohio State, then he's legit.
Both
Cool.
of them did.
Yeah.
Both of them were wrestlers out of Ohio. We
Okay.
actually talk about that on Down Goes Frazier
Okay.
this
They've
week.
been
So
asked
check
why
it
they
out.
don't wrestle.
Because they don't
do
want
MMA?
to.
Why won't they do MMA versus boxing?
So you ready for the latest rumor?
Yep.
I have heard this. They're coming to you. Both the Paul brothers apparently are going to Bellator.
Oh God, no.
I don't know if that's been out there, but
No,
I can
I'm
tell
kidding.
you
I'm kidding.
from-
Honestly, bring them. I mean,
I can tell you from a
that's
couple
gonna put
inside
more
so-
eyes and more asses in our seats. I don't
Oh,
care.
wait, now it's okay.
Right, exactly. But
hey,
so okay,
hey, I'm a company man through and through. I don't care.
100%.
Well, you guys did this with wrestling once, didn't you?
Dude, we did what?
You did it with bringing a wrestler in.
So did UFC.
Jake Hager, my friend.
yeah, Jake Hager.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
so did UFC with
Let's bring
Brock
Jack
Lesnar.
But
Swagger
Lesnar
over.
was an All-American. Lesnar was a freaking stud.
Jack,
I'm sorry.
Jack Swagger was too.
He was in the day. He really was.
He's
Jack-
not.
He's a professional
Lesnar.
wrestler.
But if you go by Jack Swagger, never mind. Okay, anyway. All
But
right.
anyway, here's
Craig Nasello.
here's my whole question with that. Okay.
Yes.
Where
I'm
we're
bringing
where
this
we're
back
going to. Okay, so this
I
kid
really like this. Old
this
sport.
kid is going to sit here and say that he's going to knock Floyd Mayweather out. Okay, the best person that could have done that was Pacquiao, Canelo, and Conor McGregor. And guess what? All those three happened to them. They all fucking lost.
There is no way on
They
God-
all lost, and you got 2 world-class boxers and a 2-division UFC
And
champion
one of the greatest strikers in
UFC history.
UFC history. I'm sorry.
You're
as much
fair.
as McGregor may push me the wrong way,
His
he's
hands,
still a hell of a striker.
no, his accuracy is amazing, but he didn't knock him out, and
looked
he's
bad.
bigger than Floyd.
But think about, I mean, Floyd went into McGregor.
Now,
with
don't
the
get me
best
wrong.
effort ever.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm
This
going to
kid,
cover up and let you wear your ass out.
don't get me wrong. This kid could knock him out because he's essentially 60 pounds heavier than him, but you got to hit him first.
Absolutely, and I don't think he can.
He
all
might
right.
touch him, but he ain't gonna.
So
hit him.
will Floyd? I'm going to throw this at you two.
Floyd
does-
ends that fight whenever he wants to. End
Does
that fight.
Floyd go with the same fight he did against McGregor?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a show. He
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't.
He
No, he
doesn't.
So here's the difference.
He's not going to take the beating from somebody 40 pounds heavier than he did with McGregor. He's not going to cover up and just drive in and wear him out.
I will tell you why. Here is why this is going to go a little bit of a different way. Number one, if you look at the rules that came out, there is quote unquote no winner in this fight. This is an exhibition. This is why you can let a 190 pounder fight a 145 pounder. This is also why you can let what is Logan? He's 1 and 2.
Or 2 and 1.
So he's 1 and 2 in boxing, fight a 50-0. No commission in the world will let that happen for real. What you're looking at here is the show. Now, if there is a quote unquote knockout, which Floyd is not going to knock Logan Paul out because Floyd was never a knockout guy. Floyd Mayweather has horrible hands. Floyd's hands have been broken so many times that, so Craig, you and I being cut man.
Yes.
Floyd is actually allowed an extra roll of gauze on his hands.
Really, never knew that.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Because he has lobbied the commissions enough that he can do that. Because his hands are so bad that one roll of gauze alone is the padding in his knuckles. One entire roll of gauze is for that. He's not a knockout artist. Now, will Logan Paul touch him? Probably not.
He won't. Or he let McGregor land punches all day long.
Because McGregor wasn't strong enough to do anything.
Well, he
because
went
they were
from-
close
he
enough
went
in
from
weight.
4 ounce to 10 ounce gloves.
Exactly.
Huge difference.
All right. What is the outcome of, number one, Craig Nasello, Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley? What's the outcome?
Damn, you would put me on the spot.
Absolutely. That's what
I
I
would
do
say-
as the host of this show.
I would say Woodley would. I said this would have been asking too, but Woodley has got better striking than Ben. I would honestly.
Ben never turned a day of striking in his life.
Well, did even Ben throw a punch?
No.
Okay. Anyway,
He took a dive. Did I say that?
Oh, my. Okay. We went
those are
there.
off. No, I think honestly, T Wood should whoop this boy's ass.
Absolutely.
Tyron at 40 is still faster than most guys.
I gave my
Tyron
prediction.
can knock a motherfucker out.
Okay. Jimmy,
Plain and
your
simple.
prediction.
I already gave it.
But give it again.
Woodley's going to knock his ass out. Jake Paul is done after this fight.
Fair. Okay. Now, this weekend, Floyd Money Mayweather and Logan Paul. Craig, how's it go?
Floyd Mayweather makes him look like an idiot and wins a controversial decision of nothing because it's an exhibition.
Jim.
My concern going to judges in a fight like this, who knows what the hell's going to
There's
happen.
no judges.
There's no judges.
Well, that's even better then.
It's an exhibition.
Then it's a back exhibition. It's a draw. They both won.
The-
It's the same thing as
that's-
Tyson and Roy Jones.
Yeah.
I
I think Mayweather may try to embarrass him, though.
think that they both make a ton of money, and it hurts my soul that it happened.
Well,
In
I
number
think-
one in Mayweather versus Logan.
I think Logan has talked enough shit to piss him off that he might put a beating
I
on
think
him.
so.
Well,
But
I
then
think
again,
Jake-
they might be in cahoots and just making money.
fair.
Floyd likes his money, but
Don't we
Floyd,
all?
but Floyd has pride, and he takes a hell of a lot of pride in his record. No draws.
Yeah, but it's
no
an
defeats.
exhibition.
It doesn't matter. It's Floyd. His ego
This is true.
bigger than anybody I've ever met in my life.
That's a fair statement. All right, let us know what you think on Twitter at MMA Bourbon or on Instagram at MMA Bourbon Society. Thank you very much again, guys. This has been a great show. Craig, thank you very much for coming back.
I'm not coming back again.
Well,
No,
good.
you are. Shut up. You know you are.
So next show,
Yes, is we need
Number
to talk
20.
about this. Number 20. And I think that we need to do something special for number 20.
So we were giving away that Statesman until Jeremy decided to open it.
So what I will do is I will say in our next show, I will give away one of the Maker's Mark private selects that I did the formulation on.
And I was going to
And we will all sign the bottle in a nice silver pen for everyone.
I was thinking about tossing out a pair of the Glencairns we're having etched.
Yeah.
They're going out because we are getting a logo put on some Glencairns and some On the Rocks classes.
Monday or Tuesday you go out.
Yeah.
But for the next show on the 20th, so what we're asking for is...
Not on the 20th. The 20th.
It's our 20th show.
Okay, let's get it
It's
straight
our
here.
20th show.
I'm just making sure. Just double
But
checking.
what we're asking for is give us ideas for topics on the show.
Absolutely. What do you want
Tweet
to know?
us, throw it on Facebook, throw it wherever. What do you want us to talk about? Because this show isn't just about the three of us having fun and being obnoxious. Which
it
we're
was
not as
awesome.
obnoxious when Craig's not here, but when he
it
is here,
gets
we do.
really fucking boring when I'm not here. I
We heard
watched,
that
I was
last
like,
week.
good Lord, how can you watch this shit? And I shut it off and started drinking heavily in my room by myself.
But no, give us some ideas. We're going to take our comments. We're going to randomly draw somebody. We'll do a random generator. Pick somebody that wins.
You get a random generator? Where the
So
fuck
here's
you
what
get
we're
that
going to do.
We're going to give away a pair of glasses.
We are going to give away a pair of glasses and a
The
bottle
Maker's
of
Mark.
Maker's Mark Private Select. If you follow us on Facebook,
and a free subscription to Pornhub.
there you go, at MMA Bourbon Society. If you follow us, you are in the drawing. It will be one of our followers on Facebook, so you have to be following us on Facebook. If you follow on Instagram, go follow us on
You
Facebook.
gotta follow it, like it, and share it.
Absolutely.
And I hope Producer Matt's wife never listens, because then he'll never be able to be our producer again. I'm gonna get him
We've
in
tried to
trouble.
get her to go out with us. It's
But
fine.
he's gonna get in
She won't
trouble
even do
if I
dinner
go.
with
It's fine.
the wags.
Let's
summertime
let's
now.
leave her
Summertime
alone. It's
now.
good.
She's
It's good.
up.
Anyway, continuing. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us for our 19th episode. I cannot believe we're going to make
19?
20 the next time. It's crazy. From all of us here at the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
See ya.